Aries, this is your May 2013 forecast. This is going to be a month most likely of change. There are 2 eclipses this month, so we have eclipses tend to have a long range of influence, up to 6 months or a year or even longer, and they can be a little bit emotional. They have to do with the planet, the moon, which is the planet of emotion, and there are 2 types of eclipses. There's a solar eclipse, which signifies something new, and the lunar eclipse, which signifies the ending of something or the culmination of something, the closing of one chapter so that you can move on to the next. And you will have both of those, this solar and a lunar eclipse this month. So, should be interesting. The solar eclipse is on the 9th of May, and it's in your 2nd house. Your 2nd house is the house of income and possessions. So this is going to be a time where you might see a promotion. You might get a new job where you're making a better income. You might find that an investment comes through. You might get a check. Something might happen which could increase your income in some way, or could affect your income in some way. And this is generally positively aspected, this solar eclipse, so I'm thinking that this should be a good thing. And you'll want to be aware of this in advance because you can plan for it. You know, whatever you do around the time of these eclipses will have a longer range of impact. So you'll want to be wary of what you do and place yourself in sort of a good position. So if you're interviewing for something, this is a great time to move forward with that. You could see that promotion. You could see whatever you're going for. But, you know, place yourself in a good spot to take advantage of this influence. There's also a lunar eclipse on the 25th of May. Lunar eclipse is the end of something. So this is in your 9th house. Your 9th house is a house of higher learning, philosophy, ethics, morals, education, foreigners, long distance travel. And so you'll want to just be aware this is kind of the ending of a project, so, or the end of something in your life. And with regards to the 9th house, maybe there's a foreigner that you've been communicating with or dealing with, some kind of foreign project. You could see that coming to an end, and you can move forward from there. It's kind of an interesting part to have this ending of, because, or maybe you're like finishing up on a college course or some kind of course that you're taking. But it's a very kind of a wide range, this 9th house. It's at the top of your chart, and it gives you a very good view of the world. It's more like philosophical and like you trying to find the higher meaning in life and ethics and morals and those kind of things. So one thing you need to watch out for is that it's negatively aspected to Neptune, which is in your 12th house. So Neptune is the planet of illusion and can be very deceptive. It can look fantastic at the time because it kind of sprinkles this fairy dust around and puts everything kind of in a bit of a fog where it seems really light and magical, but there could be something very deceptive behind it. Once that fog kind of clears and you start to see things more clearly, you'll see that what you initially thought was true might not be true anymore. Now, the 12th house is also the house of institutions and secrets. So the way this could play out is there might be some kind of issue between your moral, ethical views and some secret that's going on, or something that's going on within an institution like a hospital, or maybe if you're taking care of someone in a hospital. There's Neptune with this sort of weird, crazy, deceptive, illusion type of influence. And your 9th house, which is very, kind of questioning morals and ethical issues. So the way that negative influence could play out is more on, you know, is this secret moral? You know, maybe it has to do with a third party. Is there something going on that's not morally or ethically correct, and you're having some kind of issues with something that needs to be kept under wraps or hidden, and maybe it's affecting others and you don't see it as being a very ethical thing. But hopefully, you know, like I said, the lunar eclipse is more of the ending of something, so maybe you can put that to rest and move on. Or, you know, maybe, like I said, it could have something to do with school or some kind of educational project, or maybe you've been on a trip and you've been dealing with foreigners, and now that's kind of coming to an end and you're moving on to something else. On the 20th of May, there's also this crazy aspect between Pluto and Uranus, and these are two big planets. They don't move very quickly. And so this is a pretty rare influence where we see these negatively aspecting each other. And on a global, national scale, we've seen it in history as being a time of real turmoil against dictatorships, tyrannical leaders, things of that sort. Hopefully we will not see history repeat itself in those kind of terms, but it could also manifest in more of a personal way. So there's some kind of inner turmoil that's going on at this time. And if you go to my website at astrologykiki.com, you can see many more of the things that are going on this month with regards to Aries, but in particular how the two houses that Uranus and Pluto are in, how they might affect you personally. And you'll want to check your ascendant sign as well. This is your sun sign, the one that everyone knows about. So if you check your ascendant sign, that'll tell you more about how the environment is playing out around you, whereas your sun sign is more personally what goes on. But but in the past, we've seen Pluto and Uranus signify some kind of, you know, some pretty crazy historical events going on. But it can also play out more of an inner personal turmoil that you might be having. So go to astrologykiki.com to look at more of the aspects throughout the entire month as well as this one. Now, the beginning of the month will be a focus on income, most likely improving that income. And towards the second half of the month, it's going to switch to communication. So there might be a lot more communication with email, writing, maybe even travel, some short distance trips, as well as this lunar eclipse, which is in your house of long distance travel. Now, like I said, that's a very kind of a wide-ranging house that lunar eclipse is in. So this could play out in many different ways. Just be careful of that Neptune influence, and be aware that whatever actions you partake in at this time could have a pretty long-lasting influence. So plan out your 9th of May eclipse. That'll be the positive one. The lunar eclipse is a little bit funky there, so you might want to lay low that time, not really get involved in anything new, because of that Neptune influence could have this pretty, you know, like I said, might seem wonderful at the beginning, but just be wary of that influence, because things might not be as they seem later on. And go to astrologykiki.com to find out more about your month. Thank you.